Any in opposition? Seeing none, going to the dais. Any questions from the members?
Move approval.
I got a movement, and I think Tony, just a second. Got a second? Would you like to close, sir?
Yes, Mr. Chair. I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Please call the roll.
The motion is due pass as amended to appropriations. O'Donnell?
Aye.
O'Donnell, aye. Chavez?
Aye.
Chavez, aye. Kim?
Aye.
Kim, aye. McCarty? Santiago? Aye. Santiago, aye. Thurmond? Aye. Thurmond, aye. Weber? Aye. Weber, aye. 6-0.
Thank you. And off to appropriations.
Thank you. Very good. You on the board, huh? State board? Yeah.
Ms. Weber? Ms. Weber, can you please present your bill? I can handle it. Santiago, Weber, and I'm going to get done in 3 minutes.
Okay.
We now have AB 740 from Assemblymember Weber. Would you please present?
Yes, Mr. Chair and members, I'd like to start off by saying that I accept the committee's recommended amendments to this bill. AB 740, Academic Content Standards Update. The academic content standards are an essential part of California's achievement and accountability system. However, there is currently no process in place for their regular review and update. Each time standards need to be updated, new legislation must be enacted. Review and update of these standards is necessary due to changes in disciplinary knowledge and academic research, even if they're only minor changes. AB 740 requires the State Superintendent of Public Instruction to recommend to the State Board of Education a schedule for the regular update of academic content standards in all subject areas. Upon appropriation by the legislature, an Academic Content Standards Advisory Committee would be convened to recommend updates to content standards at each subject. These recommendations would then be passed to the State Board of Education for adoption and would be posted on the Department of Education's website before a final adoption action is taken. To support this bill, the support of this bill includes the California School Board Association, the Riverside County Superintendent of Schools, and our own Superintendent of Public Instruction, Tom Torlakson. Here to testify today, we have Sue Vang from the Office of the Superintendent of Public Instruction, Tom Torlakson, who is a sponsor of this bill, and Erica Hoffman from the California School Board Association.
Yes, please present. You have 8 minutes. Can you start the time?
Good evening. Sue Vang on behalf of State Superintendent of Public Instruction, Tom Torlakson, sponsor of this bill. I'll be very brief. AB 740 would establish a process to regularly update standards where current standards exist in California. And this bill would create a rational and predictable process for school districts so that they can plan for changes in curriculum. We have reached out to stakeholders regarding their concerns, and we're committed to working with them to ensure that we can address those concerns. And with that, we respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Erica Hoffman, on behalf of the California School Boards Association. Very much in support of this measure. Over the years, we've unfortunately had to suspend adopting standards. We've made changes in a variety of things. This year alone, we've got 6 or 7 bills to do various things to various standards and curricula. If we could get a program in place, or at least a schedule in place, that would give some security to schools and to districts of what's going to be at least looked at next, trying to get standards done before we do frameworks. I appreciate the language that was in the bill for that, because unfortunately in the past we have done frameworks and then adopted standards. So we are very strongly in support of this, and we would strongly urge your aye vote, if nothing else, to provide that continuity and consistency for schools and for students for the education they receive. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Testimony?
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, Kathy Lynch, representing the California Association for Health, Physical Education, Recreation, and Dance, in strong support.
Thank you, ma'am.
Isabel Garcia, California Teachers Association. We're recommending a support at our State Council this weekend, and we'd like to see the bill move forward.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good evening, Jessica Sacco with the California Science Teachers Association, in support of the bill with the staff recommended changes. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else in support? Anybody in opposition? Anybody in opposition? Seeing none, coming back to dais. Any questions from the dais? I got a movement by in a second. Please call the roll.
The motion is do pass as amended to appropriations. O'Donnell? Chavez?
Aye.
Chavez, aye. Kim? Kim, not, oh,
Says no.
Kim, no. McCarty? Santiago? Yes. Santiago, aye. Thurmond? Aye. Thurmond, aye. Weber?
Aye.
Weber, aye. So it's 4-1, so the bill is out.
Your bill is out, man. Somebody remember Santiago, could you please present AB 711?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. In the interest of time, we will be brief if that's acceptable to you.
Please.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair and members of the committee. I'm here to present on AB 11, which would provide the adoption of national world readiness standards for learning languages. I'd first like to thank the committee for their work, and we would accept the amendments presented to us. Specifically, AB 711 would require the State Board of Education on or before September 1st of 2017 to adopt national standards for learning foreign languages in K through 12, according to the World Readiness Standards for learning languages. I will now hand it over to our witnesses, who will introduce themselves and briefly run through their statements. Thank you.
Please do. First.
Thank you. Thank you. My name is Nicole Naditz. I'm a teacher of French at Bella Vista High School and the 2015 National Language Teacher of the Year. I am here in support of AB 711. Our California content standards for world languages need revision in order to better develop the skills and capacities today's students will need as they enter adulthood. Fortunately, there is an existing body of world language content standards that is student-focused, rigorous, college and career-oriented, and aligned to both Common Core state standards and to the framework for 21st century skills. These standards are the World Readiness Standards for Learning Languages, a collaborative effort of language educators representing 17 national language-specific organizations, including educators in California, and published by the American Council on the Teaching of Foreign Languages. Our students require educational standards that harness the power of language education to prepare them to assume productive roles in our interconnected global society through language and cultural proficiency. These world readiness standards reflect the realities, expectations, and needs of American business and industry with regards to the language proficiency of their workforce. These standards offer realistic learning targets for our students and provide teachers with essential and consistent guidance in the design of learning experiences, authentic assessment of student outcomes, and individual goal setting and reflection by students. In fact, as noted in the bill analysis, many California language teachers are already using the World Readiness Standards to design learning experiences for their students. As a classroom teacher and frequent provider of professional development to teachers using both our current state standards and these national standards, I can say that the adoption and implementation of the World Readiness Standards will ensure that California students receive language and cultural instruction that is aligned with the best practices at the national level, while promoting deep 21st century learning and building critical Common Core skills. I respectfully urge your support of AB 711. Thank you.
My name is Duarte Silva, and I am in teacher preparation and professional development, also a researcher in the Stanford Graduate School of Education. I had the pleasure of working on the last set of standards that were adopted in 2009, and those standards served us very well, and we were very proud of them. However, they are in need of revision, mainly because the demographics of California have shifted, and the fastest growing programs in California in world languages is Chinese, Korean, and Vietnamese, a close following. So I strongly encourage you to adopt these standards because they provide the roadmap that we need to support the growth of these programs in our schools, as well as support all the other languages that are being taught in the schools. The World Readiness Standards will be a cost-saving measure for California as we can move right into the development of the framework and get into that cycle that we're so hopeful that will occur. So I really strongly encourage your approval of AB 711. Thank you.
Hello, Leilani Aguinaldo Yee on behalf of the Los Angeles Unified School District in support of the bill. AB 711 would help those teachers who are having to choose, on the one hand, between materials that are outdated but aligned with state standards, and on the other hand, materials that are Common Core aligned, reflect current research and best practices, but don't comply with state standards. We urge an aye vote.
Thank you. Any other witnesses in support?
Yes, Isabel Garcia with the California Teachers Association. We're recommending as support at our upcoming State Council of Education. Want to see the bill move forward.
Tanya Zacconi, Executive Director, California Language Teachers Association. We're in strong support. Thank you.
Erica Hoffman on behalf of the California School Boards Association. We are very strongly in support of the need to adopt foreign language standards. However, as we just had the discussion in Ms. Weber's bill, we need to get a schedule that's going to be honest and true in order to adopt all these standards at this point in time. This is one of a number of bills, I think 3 or 4, I think we're looking at right now, that would have standards adopted in 2017. One, the department can't handle that workload, and frankly, schools are not going to be able to implement them all appropriately. But we still support the bill. So thank you.
For all the right reasons.
All right. There you go. Anybody in opposition? Okay, no opposition. Any members of the committee who wish to speak? Seeing no members of the committee, there's been a motion, there's been a second. The motion is do pass as amended to appropriations. Secretary, call the roll, please. Oh, I'm sorry. Close, Mr. Santiago. He doesn't want to close. He's closed. So do pass the appropriation.
O'Donnell?
Aye.
O'Donnell, I. Chavez?
Aye.
Chavez, I. Kim? Kim, I. McCarty? Santiago?
Aye.
Santiago, I. Thurmond? Thurmond, I. Weber? Weber, I. 6-0, it's out.
6-0, the bill is out. Thank you, Mr. Santiago. Ms. Weber? You did both? I thought you had 2. She did AB 7402? Yeah. Okay. Mr. Chavez. It's ladies first, that's why I was...
We were fast. We did 2 when you were gone. If you'd have come back, I'd have passed this one, too.